All right, let's dive into a world where, size really matters. We're talking about the heaviest females in the animal kingdom. Because honestly, sometimes it's the ladies who are the real giants out there.
Yeah, that's right. When we think of like the biggest animals, we often think of males like with like big antlers or tusks, but some of the most impressive like giants are actually females.
Exactly. And it's not just about the size, but like what that size tells us about like, their biology or evolution or how they rule in their own little kingdom.
Yeah, absolutely. Weight can be like a super important thing, for survival. It can help them live in tough places, get the food they need, and even like attract a mate.
Okay, so are you ready to meet some of these like awesome heavyweights?
Oh, I'm definitely ready.
Okay. Well, let's start with like the champion, the one that makes like all the other animals look tiny, like little specks of dust. The blue whale. We're talking like up to 200 tons. That's like a living cruise ship.
Yeah. It's almost like they found a way to like not even care about gravity. The ocean is like this special place where you can like float and that helps these huge animals live and do their thing.
So the ocean is like their secret
I
weapon.
guess you'd say that, yeah, their bodies, they're like a smooth shape. And you have these huge tails so they can move through the water like it's nothing.
Well,
And get this, being so big actually helps them save energy when they travel really far.
oh, okay. I'm starting to see why bigger is better.
Right. And think about how they eat. Blue whales, they're filter feeders, which means they take in these like massive gulps of water and then they filter out these tiny little creatures called krill. So the bigger their mouth, the more krill they can get in one gulp.
Oh, wow. It's like a giant like biological vacuum cleaner.
Ah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay, so the blue whale, it sets the bar pretty high. But what about like second place? Who's the runner up in this weight category?
Well, we gotta stick with the whale family for this one. The fin whale, the second biggest animal on Earth. And the females, there's something else. Imagine like an underwater bullet train weighing like up to 80 tons.
Wow, that's still heavier than most airplanes. I'm guessing that shape, it's really important for moving all that weight through the water.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Their bodies, they're like perfectly designed to just cut through the water. No resistance at all. And just like the blue whale, their size helps them, travel these really long distances without getting too tired.
It's amazing how evolution has like shaped them to be so efficient in the water.
It really is. And it's not just about speed or how well they move. Their size, it also keeps them safe from predators.
Yeah,
Not many things are going to try to mess with a whale that big.
right. Safety in numbers, or in this case, safety in bulk. Speaking of bulk, what about the North Atlantic right whale?
Yes. Those whales, they're known for being like really strong and having these like surprisingly big heads. They're a bit stockier than fin whales, but they can still reach a similar weight, like 80 to 100 tons.
So they're like the heavy-duty trucks of the whale world, like
Yeah.
built for power, not
Yeah.
just speed.
You got it. They're big heads. They've got these special plates called baleen plates, and they use those to filter out these tiny little crustaceans called copepods, and those strong bodies, perfect for navigating those cold and choppy North Atlantic waters.
It sounds like they're like perfectly equipped for that tough environment.
Mm.
I mean, I'm noticing a pattern here.
Yeah.
Size really does matter in the ocean.
Or for sure, it helps them travel those long distances, not waste too much energy, find food, and even like defend themselves against anything that wants to eat them.
Okay, I'm ready to dive a little deeper now, literally. Let's talk about the sperm whale. I know they're famous for those giant heads, but how much do the females weigh?
Well, this is where things get a little interesting. Unlike a lot of the whales we've talked about, female sperm whales are actually smaller than males.
Wait, smaller. That's different, but they've got to still be pretty big, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're still talking like 14 to 20 tons.
Okay, so maybe smaller is relative.
Exactly. And that massive head, it's got this amazing organ called the spermaceti organ, and it's super important for echolocation. They use it to like find their way in the deep ocean, find food, and even stun their prey with these crazy loud sounds.
Wait, hold on. They can use sound as a weapon?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty wild. They make these clicks, and those clicks can get so loud it helps them hunt in the darkest place of the ocean.
Wow. Okay, that's definitely made the sperm whale way cooler in my book. Okay, from whales to sharks. Our next contender is the Greenland shark.
Now, this is a species that really shows you how size and how long they live and how slow they grow, how those things are all connected. These sharks, they live for a really long time, and they grow super slowly.
So they're like the wise old folks of the shark world.
You could say that. They could live for hundreds of years and get, like, over 20 feet long.
Whoa, that's longer than my car. But how big are the females?
Well, that's what's really cool. Female Greenland sharks, they might be a bit longer than the males, but it's their weight that's really impressive. They can weigh over 1.5 tons. That's way heavier than the males.
So it's a slow race for these sharks, but the females they win in the end.
Exactly. It shows how well they've adapted to living in those freezing Arctic waters.
Speaking of slow growth, let's meet the biggest fish in the sea, the gentle giant, the whale shark.
Ah, the whale shark. There's their filter feeders, just like some of the whales we talked about. And their size, it's all about being efficient. Females, they're usually bigger than the males, and they can get to be a whopping like 14 to 30 tons.
30 tons. That's like 5 elephants all swimming together. I'm picturing a giant underwater blimp.
Their size is pretty amazing. They need to filter out these tiny plankton from the water. So they need to take in a lot of water, you know. So they have these huge mouths and these special gill rakers that are perfect for that.
It's amazing how form follows function in the natural world. Okay, we've explored some awesome marine giants. Ready to head to land for our next heavyweight.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go to the frozen north. That's where we'll find the polar bear, the top predator of the Arctic. I know that males are usually bigger, but how big do the females get?
Well, the males might be the kings of size, but the females, there's still a force to be reckoned with.
They have to be to survive up there, right?
Oh, absolutely. They have a huge responsibility raising their cubs, and they need to be strong enough to hunt seals. You know, we're talking like up to 1,100 pounds. That's over half a ton of muscle and blubber.
Wow, that's enough to make me stay far away from the Arctic. I bet their size is really important for staying warm in those freezing temperatures.
It is that thick layer of blubber they have that keeps them warm, and it's like a backup energy source when food is scarce. That's super important for surviving those long winters when there's not much to eat.
It's incredible how nature prepares them for the challenges they face. Okay, from the icy Arctic to the forests of India, our next stop is the gar, also known as the Indian bison.
Ah, yes, the gar. A powerful, powerful animal. And while the females, they aren't as heavy as the males, they're still much bigger than a lot of other cattle. They can get up to like 1,800 pounds.
That's like a small car walking around the forest. I bet their size helps them, get around in those dense forests and find food.
You got it. Being that big is a big advantage in those forests. It helps them push through all the thick plants and reach up high to get the good leaves.
So it's not just about being dominant. It's about getting the resources they need.
Exactly. And don't forget, their size helps protect them from predators like tigers and leopards. A big, strong gar is not an easy target.
All right, let's switch things up and go back to the water, but this time with something a little more toothy. We're talking about the saltwater crocodile.
Oh, yeah. One of the biggest reptiles around. The females, they might be smaller than the males, but they're still incredibly strong. They can weigh somewhere between like 400 to 500 pounds.
That's like a motorcycle lurking in the water. I'm definitely staying out of any salt water from now on.
You know, they're ambush predators, which means they need to be really strong and have these powerful bodies. They have to be able to jump out of the water, grab their prey, and drag it back down to drown it.
Whoa, they're like stealthy ninjas of the water. Size and power, that's a deadly combo.
For sure. They're perfectly adapted to be the top predators in their environment.
And for our final contender in this heavyweight showdown, we're going to the world of snakes, the green anaconda.
Ah, the green anaconda. Now, it might not be the longest snake, but it is the heaviest. And you guessed it, the females are the champs.
Really? Heavier than the reticulated python, the one that can get to be over 20 feet long. Wow, I'm impressed.
It all comes down to how they hunt and where they live. These snakes, they can weigh over 500 pounds. Think about the strength they need to have to squeeze and and overpower animals bigger than themselves, then drag them into the water.
Okay, you're making me afraid of snakes now. But seriously, it's mind-blowing how strong these animals are.
It really shows the incredible variety of life on Earth and how evolution has shaped these creatures to succeed in their own unique ways.
It's kind of crazy, right? Like we're going through all these super heavy females, and I'm realizing we're just like scratching the surface of bigness in the animal world.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've been talking about weight, but there's so many other ways to like measure size,
Yeah.
and really appreciate how diverse life is on our planet.
Right. Like we haven't even mentioned like wingspan. Imagine imagine the albatross,
Right.
soaring across the ocean with wings that are like over 11 feet long.
Yeah. That's a great example. Or think about the giraffe, right? They can get to be almost 20 feet tall. That's a whole different kind of big,
Yeah.
but just as impressive.
It's like nature is always like experimenting,
Yeah.
trying out different ways to be big, and each one has its own advantages and disadvantages.
For sure. And sometimes it's not even about how big they are, but how much space they take up,
Mhm.
Like the giant squid has this massive mantle and these tentacles that can stretch over 40 feet.
Whoa, 40 feet. That's longer than a school bus. And they're not even the heaviest things in the ocean, right?
Nope, not even close.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about what big really means,
Yeah.
And we can't forget about all the invertebrates out there. Some jellyfish, like the lion's mane jellyfish, their bells can be over 6 feet across, and their tentacles can trail for like over 100 feet.
Okay, now I'm picturing this like giant underwater parachute just drifting through the ocean. It's amazing how these creatures have evolved to live in their environments in such unique ways.
It really is. It shows you just how adaptable life on Earth can be, and it reminds us that bigger isn't always better.
Yeah.
It's about finding that perfect balance for where you live and what you do.
I like that. It's not about winning. It's about finding your own way to thrive.
Right.
Whether you're a huge blue whale or a tiny little ant.
Exactly. Every species has its own special adaptations that help it survive, and sometimes size is the key. And sometimes it's something totally different, like camouflage or venom or even how they work together in groups.
I'm realizing that this deep dive into big females, it's made me look at the natural world in a whole new way.
That's what's so great about exploring and discovering new things, right? It makes you question what you thought you knew, and it helps you understand the incredible diversity of life on our planet.
I couldn't agree more. So as we wrap up our discussion about these amazing female giants, I have to ask, do you think there are even bigger creatures out there that we haven't discovered yet?
That's a really interesting question. And honestly, yeah, I think it's totally possible, especially in the ocean. We've only explored the tiny, tiny bit of it. And scientists are finding new species all the time. So who knows? Maybe there are these colossal creatures down there that are like way bigger than even the blue whale.
Okay, now you're getting my imagination going. I'm picturing this like giant glowing squid the size of a small island.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe not that big, but the possibilities are definitely exciting, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just the ocean. Think about those remote rainforests, those deep caves, even the vast Arctic. They could all be hiding some incredible giants.
It just reminds me that there's still so much we don't know about our own planet. It's like a giant puzzle that we're still putting together.
Exactly. And who knows? Maybe one of our listeners will be the one to make the next big discovery.
Maybe so. So to all our listeners out there, keep your eyes open, keep your minds curious, and don't be afraid to explore the world around you. You never know what amazing giants might be out there just waiting to be discovered. It's kind of funny, we started talking about the heaviest females, and now we're like imagining these giant squids the size of islands. It's amazing how like exploring one thing can take you to all these other cool places.
It really is. And it reminds me that even when we're focused on like one specific thing in nature, like size, there's still so much variety within each species.
Exactly. Like we've been talking about these record weights, but there's a whole range of sizes, within any group of animals.
Oh, for sure. Think about it like this. Even with blue whales, right?
Yeah.
You'll have some that are a little bit bigger, some a little smaller, some with slightly different shapes, even different colors. And they're all like perfectly suited to their role in the whole ecosystem.
So it's not always about being the absolute biggest or the heaviest. It's about finding like your own place and making it work for you.
Exactly. It shows you the power of natural selection, and how adaptable life really is.
Which brings us back to our original question. Do you think there are even bigger female animals out there that we haven't found yet?
Honestly. Yeah, I think it's very possible, especially when you think about how huge and deep the ocean is. We've barely explored any of it, and new species are popping up all the time.
It's exciting to think there might be creatures out there that would like completely change how we understand, what's possible. Creatures that would just blow our minds.
Absolutely. And it's not just about finding new species. It's also about learning more about the ones we already know. There's always more to discover about their behavior, their adaptations, how they interact with their environment, the whole thing.
It's like nature is always showing us new secrets, new amazing things to discover.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So to all our listeners out there, stay curious, keep exploring, and never stop asking questions about the world around you. Who knows, maybe you'll be the one to find the next incredible giant hiding in the ocean or deep in a rainforest somewhere.
Until next time, keep diving deep.